Okay, my number 14 is the Parallax II feature sequence by Between the Buried and Me. So Between the Buried and Me are a progressive metal band. I talked about Protest the Hero before. There are similarities, but they're a different kind of progressive metal band. They're from North Carolina in the United States, I believe, and Future Sequence is their 7th studio album, and it's a sort of sequel to the EP, the Parallax, the Hypersleep Dialogues. I say they're progressive metal, and I've mentioned, Protest the Hero, but Buried in Me take the sort of progressive aspect even further and sort of take it across genres more. They are first and foremost an extreme metal band, so they're very heavy riffs, very aggressive screams. It's a very, very heavy album, but at the same time there's elements of jazz. There's sort of oompa music in places,
Right.
and they're just a really diverse band. They use lots of different types of percussion. There's lots of keyboards. There's clean singing that'll devolve into just guttural, horrific screaming. They are definitely an extreme band, and the way I kind of came across them was just at a late night party, and somebody had their laptop hooked up to their TV and they were just putting on random songs, and the song Mordecai came on, which is not actually on this album. It's I don't know, about 4 or 5 albums previous, but it's just absolutely brutal. And at the time I remember hearing it, at the time I was quite drunk, and I was almost sick how intense the sound from that song was. So it always kind of stayed with me. Maybe not for the best reasons, but I kind of accidentally came across this album in HMV, and to be honest, I just saw the cover art, which is like, it's just like a shot looking over the curvature of a planet looking into space.
Right.
And I was like, that's really cool artwork, and I just bought it. I didn't realise it was the same band at the time, and then I put it on, and it's just one of the heaviest albums I've listened to, but at the same time, it's got really sort of spacious, melodic, and quite sort of tender moments on it. So it jumps between these extremes. I'm using the word extreme a lot, but it is a very heavy, brutal album. And one of the things that is common of progressive metal is the sort of technical ability to jump from like different time signatures and different riffing styles and solos and different types of singing, and they're just a really, really tight band, and they're all clearly very able musicians. One of the most impressive tracks on the album is a song called Extremophile Elite, and for anyone who's interested in this band, go on YouTube and look for it. They do sort of live studio performances of certain songs, and Extremophile Elite is one of them, and I think it's about 8 minutes long or something like that, and it's just they're fairly static and just perform the song, but it's just really impressive to watch. Like, the drummer is just an absolute machine, and the bassist and the guitarist are just up and down the fretboards. The singer jumping between his different singing styles and playing the keyboards, and they're just a really impressive band, and this is just an outstanding album. Mentioned Extremophile Elite, and there's maybe a couple other standout songs, Talos and Astral Body, but they're just a heavy band with, and I suppose astral is a kind of good word. It's quite I think it's a concept album, but I really have no idea what the concept is.
Right.
So I don't really hook in on the vocals or that bit, but it's very, the cover art belies a sort of science fiction sort of theme, so and it has, you can hear that in the music, in the sort of space it creates, and it could potentially be a dystopian sci-fi with all this sort of brutality that's on there, but kind of just making that up. But bottom line is, it's a really, really good extreme metal album.
Who could you liken them to anybody?
So we reviewed Bats recently, and Bats are a less extreme version of Between the Buried and Me. Between the Buried and Me are probably a band I should have mentioned in that review, but so that kind of heaviness you hear on that Bats album, and the sort of different styles and all those kinds of things are present on Between the Buried and Me's music, but they're even more progressive and diverse, and quite a bit heavier. But that's the closest kind of band I can think of likening them to, off the top of my head at least. But yeah, very good album. It's a Parallax II feature sequence by Between the Buried and Me.